The International Christian Embassy Jerusalem is your embassy in the heart of Israel, founded in 1980. From our headquarters in Jerusalem through our branches in over 80 nations and yours in Canada, we seek to challenge the Church to take up its scriptural responsibility to remind Israel of the promises made to her in the Bible and to be a source of practical assistance to all the people in the land of Israel. On today's program, Part 2 of the testimony of Dr. Jurgen Buhler, President of the International Christian Embassy Jerusalem. Dr. Buhler shares his inspirational story of courage, healing from cancer, and his work in supporting Israel. A visit to Beit Singer Boarding School in northern Israel, innovative in its use of animal-assisted therapy for children and youth at risk.
I'm sorry. In a way, I understood, what Paul speaks about in the book of Philippians, where he speaks about the fellowship of his sufferings. And I never understood what that meant, but in a way I understood that God gave me the privilege to just scratch the surface what Jesus was going. Nobody will ever imagine the pains what he was going through. But it really was a lesson for me how much Jesus paid and how much he loved us for dying for you and for my sin, and the incredible sacrifice what he brought for humanity.
But suddenly, something miraculous happened that amazed the medical staff.
Within 8 days I could leave the hospital, and after 2 weeks I was flying back to Israel. And this is a huge miracle. Today I do feel stronger than probably in many years. I was just going again through the Feast of Tabernacles. I told my wife, this is amazing. I feel stronger after the feast than I never felt in many years after the Feast of Tabernacles.
At the Feast of Tabernacles, hosted annually by the ICEJ in Jerusalem, Jurgen put his testimony into action, encouraging and praying for those who are sick.
Healing in the blood of Jesus. Healing in the name of Jesus.
When I came back to Israel, I had a meeting with one of the head doctors of ICEJ Hospital. He was the chief doctor of the whole department. He didn't see me before. It was another doctor who diagnosed me. So I was seeing him because the other doctor didn't have time to see me. So he looked at my file and he says, Jurgen Buhler, I remember you have been here before. You have been here in November. I remember your name. We were discussing your case in our doctor's meeting. And then he looked at me and he says, and you are alive. And I realized they didn't have hope for me to come back alive. And he said at least 5 times during that meeting, he says, well, I don't know what this doctor did. I don't know how he did it, but that you survived, that's a miracle. And I realized even the operation was a miracle where God really intervened and gave wisdom to the doctors when they were working on my body. Before we left to Germany for the operation, a lady of our church, as they were praying for us as a family, she says, I just felt I had something like a vision when we were praying for you. I saw you on the operating table in Germany, and I saw all the doctors working in your body, and then I saw Jesus coming and putting his hand in your belly, and he was operating you. And in a way, this was what was taking place. It was really, the doctor said it was a miraculous operation, and I believe God used the incredible skills from doctors. This was the best doctor I could have gotten in Germany, and I'm extremely thankful that he was willing to do that operation. But at the same time, I know also Jesus was in that room and he restored me. My wife and I, we said, we want to put the Lord as our family doctor. That doesn't mean that we go to other doctors, that doesn't mean we don't go to hospital, but it means that when there is something happening with our children, with my wife or with me, the first thing what we do, we pray to God and we ask the Lord for a touch of His healing power, and we ask Him also for wisdom what to do. And in a way, the Lord, as my family doctor, He answered my prayer and He gave me a letter of referral to a doctor to Germany. He said, I want you to go to this expert, he will deal with you. But the Bible encourages us to go first to Him and to seek Him first. And I believe there are many people here today, they will experience that God is a prayer answering God. I spoke about that recently in Germany, and a lady came to me and she said, well, you are praying for the sick people and you are encouraging them to trust the God, the Lord, for healing. What about all those people which there is no answered prayer? And I told her, says, the Bible doesn't speak very much about that. And of course, God is a God of comfort, and I felt the comfort of God in a situation where I didn't know what will be my future, but at the same time, the Bible encourages us, the Word of God encourages us to put our trust in Him and to believe that, like it says in Isaiah, that in His stripes we are healed. Like it says in the book of Exodus, in the second book of Moses, chapter 15, where He says, I am your healer.
The prophet of Isaiah, chapter 53, he declares to us that physical healing is part of the salvation work of Jesus at the cross. He says, He was wounded for our transgressions and He was bruised for our iniquity. The chastisement for our peace was upon Him, and in His stripes we are healed. In Exodus chapter 15, verse 26, Moses is telling the people of Israel, he says, I will put none of the diseases upon you which I have brought on Egypt, because I am the Lord who heals you. Now the Hebrew text says it the following way, it says, because Yahweh Rophe, or it can be also translated, because I am the Lord your physician.
God gave us a very clear vision for the Christian embassy many years ago, even before I joined the embassy, and this will always stay the same, to bless the Jewish people. But probably what it did, it made me even more committed to use that time which the Lord gave me back. In a way, the Lord returned my life back to me. So it helped me a great time to rearrange the priorities in my life. So I'm more dedicated to the call than ever before. But one of the things what I just shared with our leadership team here in Jerusalem, with our staff and also with our board, I personally experienced the incredible power of prayer around the world, where people were praying for me. One thing what I want to undergird and strengthen this coming months and years is our international prayer work. We already have an Isaiah 62 prayer campaign, but we want to enforce that not just one day a month, but we want to do this every day, 24 hours, 7 days a week, where people are praying not only for Israel, but we see thousands of people giving their prayer requests to us, and I see each one of those stories. These are real people with real needs, with sometimes heartbreaking needs, and those people, they deserve that people are praying for them. So we want to re-emphasize that, strengthen our prayer ministry for Israel, but also for people around the world. And we want to do our best to bless this nation more and stronger than ever before. One of the privileges, of course, what we had is that people from the Fiji Islands all across the globe, they were praying for us, and we felt those prayers in an incredible way. And I want to thank even those people who are watching now and who were praying for us as a family. Your prayers have been answered, and it really were your prayers which gave us strength and which carried us through in this incredible moment. And everybody who is sick today and is watching today, that's what I want to tell you, is that with God there are no incurable diseases. There is nothing which is impossible to God to do. There is no disease which is too difficult for you. I was given up by the doctors. They didn't have much hope for me. He restored me, and He can also restore your life.
Father, in the name of Jesus, we declare your healing power.
From a situation of severe sickness, Jurgen has come out strengthened and completely healed. More than ever, today he is engaged in ministry at the International Christian Embassy, Jerusalem.
David Ben-Gurion once said, "He is not a realist who doesn't believe in miracles." Perhaps this story has inspired you to inquire about this God of miracles, the God of Israel. If you want to hear more miracle stories, please check out our website.
John chapter 21, verse 17. He said to him the third time, "Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me?" Peter was grieved because he said to him the third time, "Do you love me?" And he said to him, "Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you." Jesus said to him, "Feed my sheep." Up next, a visit to Beit Singer Boarding School in northern Israel, innovative in its use of animal-assisted therapy for children and youth at risk.
Welcome again to Beit Singer. I'm going to explain you about Beit Singer, a few words, and then we're going to see this building that we get the support from your organization from 2 years now, 2015 and 16.
Yeah.
And then 2017 it was to the background, to the playground, that we're going to see it after it. Okay, so Beit Singer is a boarding school for kids at risk. The kids come from all around Israel. We have kids from Tel Aviv, from Jerusalem, from Kiryat Shmona on the north, Tiberias, Haifa, and from the area. We have right now 96 kids between 8 to 18. The groups, you're going to see it, they are mixed, boys and girls, but we have 80% of the kids that here, they suffer some sexual abuse at home. So it means that we need to help them to take care of themselves. So they have dormitories for boys and girls separate. The toilet, showers, they are separate too. We have in each building, we have three different buildings. In each building we have about 34 kids. They are divided for small groups between 10 to 15 kids in a group. That they are boys and girls mixed. and we have a very big team that work with them. We have almost 4 leaders in each group, that it's a lot. We have volunteers that works 1 year like a service before the army, that after this year they go to the army. We have students that go to the university and works here. We have in each building a housekeeper, coordinator, we have a social worker, we have a nurse that works here, a very big team. We have about 65 people that works by salary in all the boarding school, and 30 volunteers that work with us. So you know, it's almost 1 for each kid. It's not an economic place. And the kids, they're going to different 20 schools in the area. We don't believe that we need to put them in a school, in the boarding school, because we believe they need to go to learn with the normal kids, normal community, and to have a normal friends. So we find for each kid the special school, that what he needs, if it's special education, art, psychiatry problems, what they need, they get. So they go to school. After school, they are back here in the afternoon. Right now, they start coming. They have a warm lunch in the dining room that we have. In the afternoon, they have different activities. They can choose like karate, riding on horses, theater, singing, playing on some music instruments. Each kid have 1 hour of therapy with social worker or psychology, or we have a different therapies that we're going to see after it. We have a therapeutic zoo. We believe a lot of working with animals. It's very natural for the kids to work with therapy with animals. They feel very comfortable, and they say that the animals accept them how they are. They don't see if they are white, black, boy, girl, and whatever, and they accept them. So it works very easy with the animals. The kids, the graduate kids that finished Beit Singer, they are in Israel, you know, 99% of them, they go to the army. So they go to the army, and they are recognized by the army like lone soldiers, because they don't have support of family that can receive them in the weekends, in holidays. So we opened about 4 years ago. We have right now 3 houses here in a moshav next to us that we support it, and we give them all the facilities they need. They live there. Our graduates, they go to the army, and they can make the service in the army like everybody in Israel. They feel comfortable. When they finish the army, they can get we have some couple from Los Angeles that open a foundation on the name of Beit Singer to support them to go to college or university, and they pay all the cost, all what they need for it, to get them a better future, and they can feel more safety. And if somebody have some questions right now.
Do you sponsor any of them? Like one particular family can see through them from beginning to
The soldiers?
No, the kids when they come here.
Yeah.
Or is it general funding?
What we got 70% of our budget, it's from the government. 30% we need to make fundraising for special projects like this renovation that you support, and some other communities, other foundations, good friends that we have. Always when we need to support more money and to get more fundraising. Okay. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the gift that you brought. We go now from here downstairs. You can go around, knock on the doors. If nobody is there, maybe you can open the door. It's okay to see the rooms, feel comfortable. We start like 6 months ago. That you can see there are some games for small kids, and where is all the sand, and they start working here. They're going to put like games for teenagers, like I don't know how you say it in English, it's like in a gym, but you put it outside in the playground that they can come to play, to make like sports, whatever. And it's going to be there in the middle where it's all like more dark. You know what? It's petanque. I think you know it, with the balls that they can play. Something for more big people, the kids. Yeah, something like that. We hope that in 2 months they need to finish this playground. It's going to be on the name of a lady, Keren. Keren. Gan, it's a garden. Keren, it's the name of a lady that she passed away like 2 years ago. She was living in this moshav. She had cancer, and they decided to put her name on this. It was a project between us and the community of the moshav, because it's not so easy for the people in the moshav to have a boarding school for kids at risk in the middle of the heart of the moshav, because, you know, they don't need the problems, but the boarding school was here before the moshav. Our boarding school, it's more than 70 years, and it stay here, and we don't move to other place. So always we're trying to make some project together that they can understand the kids. Our kids go in the summer to the swimming pool. The kids from the moshav, they are allowed to come in the afternoon to different activities for judo, karate that we are doing in the boarding school. And they go together with our kids to the schools in the morning. So we decided to make this project with them. This lady, her name was Karen, she was helping a lot before she started being sick to the boarding school. She was making cakes in the weekend for the kids. She adopted some kids, and we have a really nice contact. So we decided we like this project, and we'll do it together. And we'll send you pictures in 2 months, I hope, when we finished all this project, to show you how it get in the end. And I'm sure that the kids will like this place. They are allowed, you see, the kids, the gates are open, they're allowed to go to play in the moshav. They don't stay like, we don't like, they stay like in a jail, in the boarding school. They are normal kids. If somebody have some questions. Yeah?
Do kids skateboard? Like in the States, skateboarding, you know what that is?
No.
It's
a board with wheels on it.
Oh my gosh, you gotta introduce
Skateboard. Skateboard. Some of them, they like it. Yeah, they do it. We don't have so much place where they can use it, but some of them like it, yeah.
Not too much pavement.
More the kids, they can tell you. Like, I think all around the world, most of the time they are playing with a phone. You know, like all the kids. But we like a lot when the kids staying here in the boarding school. They go on one in 2 weeks, they go home, and then they stay 1 weekend in the boarding school. We like to go traveling in the nature a lot. We make a lot of trips on the north to see rivers, to go to travel around Israel, to show them the country. It's very important for us. Yeah? What?
Is that what you're saying? This is just a temporary residence for the kids.
No.
Homes that they go to?
Yeah, all of them have families, but how I told you that 80% of the kids passed some sexual abuse. So 60% of these kids, they are in the boarding school by a law order. So we have contact, our social worker, we have contact with the social worker in the municipalities, and they looking if the contact is okay, if they are allowed to go home for the weekend, or maybe it's not safety for them, so they stay here in the boarding school. Some of the kids, the parents, they are prostitutes, alcoholic, drug addicts. Some of them, they are in jail. We believe a lot to work with the kids, with the parents. Doesn't matter, some of the parents, they are murderers in jail. So we take the kids for visit in the jail, to visit the parents, because we believe that it doesn't care what is your parents, is your parents. You need to recognize from where you came, because if you don't know from where you came, you can grow safety and to make the change. We know that the change, it's between 14 to 15. They decide to fight on the future, and then you can see that they jump in the study and decide to stay in the boarding school and to make the change. But always respecting from where they came. Yeah. So Really, thank you for your visit. Next time we hope it will be longer. Maybe we can do some activity to go next time. And you are,
Play basketball.
yeah? And you are always welcome to visit us. And have fun in Israel.
And Ariel, I don't know,
Yeah.
people won't hear me. Really? I'm getting good at this, huh? Okay. I just want to explain to Ariel that, and I don't know if there's any other staff here, that we've come, about 82 of us, from all across Canada to bring you and the children gifts during our 150th birthday. You know that Canada had a birthday?
Yeah.
All year. And so all year, people have been, not all of them could come, of course not, but the people here brought gifts of, people have been knitting and crocheting and buying and thinking and only limited by their own imaginations what to bring. So we brought a collection of items that we think that the children could use, and also that they will remember that they have friends and people like us in Canada praying for them and caring for them and concerned about how they're living.
We conclude our program today with some sights and sounds within Israel.
So Maddie, that's just going to stay there until what? I mean, temporary.
Thank you for joining us today, and be sure to visit our website at www.icejcanada.tv or call us at 1-866-324-9133. Through your contribution to ICEJ Canada, you can participate by giving to Haifa Home for Holocaust Survivors, Women at Risk, Red Carpet Project, Operation Life Shield Bomb-Proof Shelters, Shoulder to Shoulder Alia Support, Beit Singer Children's Home, Israel in Crisis, ICEJ Communication Media Fund, Christian Friends of Yad Vashem, Magen David Adom Emergency Services, Canada Israel Young Adult Scholarships, Equip and Teach, Beit Rachel Strauss Inclusive Community, Gift Estate Securities Funds.